Hi, welcome back to another video, and it's September now, which means I've published and uploaded my compendium of shots that I took in August, and I got through an awful lot in August, so there was a fair amount in there, and it's time to look at my top 5 picks from August. Now, if you've not seen the video that I'm talking about, I will link to it. It should be up there somewhere, and you can click on it and go and have a look. You don't have to worry about me talking in it. It's just all of my shots that I put on social media in August with some nice ambient tunes playing in the background. If you have watched it, let's see if your picks match mine. Who knows? So yeah, narrowing it down to 5 this month was extremely difficult, but I've managed to do it, so here we go. Now, first up, we have this shot of, it's quite a simple shot in concept. It's some leaves. I'm not much of a botanist, so don't ask me what they are. If you know, comments down below. With some rain on them. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it was rain. I think it may have been water from where they'd actually been watered, because it was a fairly hot day that I took this. Now, this was taken on a Canon EOS 5D Classic that I was just taking out and messing about with, and there'll be a video on that very camera coming up, hopefully quite soon. But I knew there was a decent shot in there when I took it, but what I didn't quite realise is, when converted to black and white, just how good it would look. That did take quite a bit of editing in black and white to really bring out everything that I wanted in here, but I just love the tones in this. I think it's come together in terms of tones really well. The central leaf that draws your attention has, you know, the majority of the moisture on it, and I really just think it works well as a shot in black and white. And I must confess, this is one of the times where initially when I took this, I was thinking about this being a colour image, and it just didn't work when I was editing it in colour, and I flicked it over to black and white just to see what it would look like, and it was kind of like, whoa, it knocked my socks off even before I started any editing in any heavy way on it. So yeah, pleasant surprise, this one, in that regard. And looking at our second image, this one again is going to be black and white. This was, if my memory serves me, taken on my Lumix GX7, but I had a 7 Artisans 25mm f1.8 on it, which is a manual focus lens that I was just out and about playing around with, and trying to figure out where the hyperfocal distance on it is, because the scale that's marked on the lens is quite clearly a scale for APS-C cameras, not for Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I might have to do a video on that in a while, because it's quite annoying. So I was trying to work out where the hyperfocal distance on it was and what was going on with it. And I must confess, I was just walking down the street, and I wasn't really paying as much attention to what was going on around me as I should have been, because I was focusing on the camera and swearing and muttering a bit under my breath. And just out of the corner of my eye, I caught this pigeon on a wall, and I basically just lifted the camera up and pointed it at the pigeon, just as the pigeon turned around and looked straight at me. I hit the shutter and it flew off, and I really didn't know whether I'd got it, so I had a look down tentatively, and it was kind of like, yes, got it. The pigeon just staring back at me. And this one I knew I wanted to do in black and white when I took it, because, being perfectly honest, it lent itself to that kind of industrial, grimy cityscape kind of look with the pigeon and the kind of like dreary grey sky behind it. It was quite a simple edit, in all honesty. It was mainly just making sure that the sky wasn't totally flat, just trying to bring out a little bit of detail in it, and the rest came together quite well. But yeah, like this one, like the pigeon, thank you very much for looking at me. Okay, so that's two down, and they're not all colour this. They're not all black and white this month. So the next one up is a colour shot. Now, for this one, I was actually photographing a friend of ours who was playing a DJ set at a local brewery and tap room, and it went really well. I got some really good shots out of the event, which are on, again, the video I referenced earlier on. You can go and have a look at them all on there if you want to. But being perfectly honest, I just actually, full disclosure, needed to go to the toilet. And on the way there, I noticed that because this brewery is on an industrial estate, or rather industrial units, over in the distance there was this van parked against a garage door of a unit, and the sun was just setting behind it, and the sun had actually dipped down behind the line of the building, and I thought that the colours just looked really, really nice, and there was still a little bit of light, I've got no idea where it was coming from, reflecting off of the top edge of the garage door. So basically just grabbed a shot of that, and had a quick look. Yeah, it looks okay. And it wasn't until the next day, when I was going through all of the shots from the event, that I came across it again, and it was kind of like, whoa, there's something actually really nice here. I like how the tones are kind of, the colours are really nicely done in it without being overly saturated. There's something quite calming about the way it looks, and again, a little bit of editing to balance the sky and the foreground, and I did use a brush just to wipe across the top of the garage doors and pull the exposure up a little bit there, just to really bring out that reflected light that was in there. But really pleased with this one and how it came together. Really do like this shot, and yeah, it was an unusual time to get it as well, but yeah, really like that. Okay, so from one colour image we're going to move on to another colour image, and this one I do remember, was taken on film. So this is a Nikon F601. This was taken on with the standard Nikon 50mm 1.8, the old AFD one, so they're pretty much their first generation of autofocus lenses. Film stock was lomography 100 colour, this one, and this film stock was about a decade old. It was given to me by my father. I just whacked it in the camera, went for a walk, and I went for a walk somewhere where I love going to photograph, because this building in Swindon is called the ArcLight building, and it's a really unusual angular building with a lot of glass panels on it, and I took quite a few shots. I basically finished off the roll around this building, but this is the one that really stood out for me, because it becomes quite an abstract shot. If you didn't know it was the ArcLight building, you'd know it was a building, but what type of building is it? Where is it? What part of the building are we even looking at? Are all questions that pop to mind when you look at this image, and I know the building, and those questions still pop to mind. And yeah, the sky, the cloud was just wispy enough, and as always, I try not to do any editing for film work that would go beyond what could be done in a dark room, and this is very similar in that regard. Basically, all I really did on this was just bring out the sky a little bit more, so underexpose that so that we could get a bit more depth out of that, and it balanced better with the building. But again, really like this. I've got a bit of a soft spot for kind of these abstract building type shots in colour or black and white, and this one came together really well in my view. And then finally, another gig I shot this month was a band called Mr. Love and Justice. They played at a excellent craft beer bar in Swindon called the Tuppenny. I know a couple of members of the band, went along, shot the band, and this for me was the pick of the images that came out of it. I mean, if you followed the channel and my work for any length of time, you'll know I like trying to get shots of artists and musicians that are a little bit out of the ordinary, and this was very much one I was intending to try and get when I took it. I wanted to get a shot along the neck of the guitar. I quite like that, but I also knew, and as I was framing it, and I did take a few of these just to try and get it right, that Brendan the drummer was in a perfect sight line. So you've got that leading line down the guitar neck to Brendan as he's playing the drums, and I took a few of this because I was hoping to get the sticks in the right place, and I wanted Brendan out of focus in this, with the focus being on the guitar. And again, this was one I was fairly sure that I was going to edit in black and white as I was hitting the shutter, and it just came together really well. And I like the way, as I say, the leading lines go down the neck of the guitar to Brendan the drummer as he's playing, and I don't think the drumsticks could have been positioned much better from that point of view. Camera on this one, if I remember correctly, this was my Olympus EM1 Mark II, and the lens was my 45mm f1.8. So there we go. Those are my picks, my top 5 photographs that I took in August. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree with any of these? Do you disagree? Have you watched the video? Do you think they're all rubbish? Any thoughts, any comments, leave them down below. And as always, if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.